size of the prize is going up. I think you're going to see, billionaire content creators.
Because they're billionaires and they go into content creation, or because they're content creators who become billionaires?
That become billionaires. Yep. And so like, I think it's hard. I wouldn't say it's the easiest way to become a billionaire, in the same way that like, for athletes, who's So let's run through some possibilities.
Okay.
I think that the people who you would think, like a Mr. Beast, who's like, one of the largest YouTubers and seems to be making moves here and there, I don't think it's going to be them. Why not? Why not them?
Interesting.
I don't think so, because I think that it depends. It's not just about size of audience. And so you have YouTube, where there's a different king every, sort of like few years. Same thing happens on Twitch. Ninja's the best, and then Tifu's the best, and then now there's like new people who are the best. So there's this like rotation that happens as far as that goes. The second thing is, who has the ambition to do it? So I know that those guys, through Night Media, they're investing, they're doing different things. So that's good. But I think they have to have the playbook. And so I think Joe Rogan either will get there or could get there. So single person, sold the media rights to the podcast for reported, $100 million. I don't know if that's a year or that was a lump sum. But
I think they didn't say on purpose.
Yeah.
Because they want us all guessing.
Yeah. But I would believe that he can get $100 million per year doing that right now.
He was doing $30 million in ad sales the year before. So
right.
You assume that, $100 million is probably close.
Then what else did he do? So he created, or he's like, a partner or co-founder of On It. I don't know what percent he owns, but now he's gone into like a supplement. Supplements can be a very, very big business, right? So like, The Rock releasing protein powder is going to work to a degree that like other stuff won't. So these influencers are realizing, why should I shout out these random brands for, cash, when I can either create my own brand or own equity I'll demand equity. So LeBron did this, right? LeBron was sponsored by McDonald's, and he's like, hey, first of all, like, I don't eat McDonald's, so this is like kind of bullshit. But secondly, like, I could invest in Blaze Pizza. It's like a chain that's growing, and like I can own a significant share of this just by being LeBron. Like, I want to be on the equity side of the game rather than being kind of a cash, a cash guy. And so I think you have to shift the business model. So I think what we're going to see is somebody who they get a big enough audience, then they parlay it through the higher value possibilities. So here's some higher value possibilities. Buying businesses. I think there are plenty of, like, for example, fintech companies that build a product, they build a neobank, they build a credit card, a debit card, and they don't quite make it. So they don't quite get the escape velocity because they're trying to pay for ads on Facebook to get customers. They don't get all the way there. Now, what if you're Mr. Beast and you decide to pick up that company? So you buy out that company. You own, you buy it 100% essentially. You buy the investors out for 10 cents on the dollar because they're going under. So you take that same technology, but you have the distribution where you're going to get an unfair distribution advantage, and you're going to get 1 million people using this debit card. Just the way that debit cards work. Debit card, you're going to be able to take like a 1% fee on transactions. So you get 1 million people spending $100 a month on this. You're going to be making tens of millions of dollars just off that. And you're going to be valued at hundreds of millions of dollars with a fintech product. And so I think people who basically launch financial products, people who buy out businesses that are already doing good and take them to the next level using their fame, or they go into categories like supplements, chips, like water, like these like large consumer plays. Because if I have a big loyal audience and they want, whatever, CBD, whatever these like kind of products are, CBD is a great one because CBD, you can't advertise on Facebook and Google. So you can't run ads, but you can be an influencer talking about CBD. And so today they all do cash deals, but the ones who launch branded, fully owned products and take that seriously, they're going to build a big business in the same way that like, whatever, 50 Cent made more off his vitamin water, proceeds than he ever did as a rapper. And I think you're just going to see more and more of that. So guys who go into crypto and things like that. So
I agree with some of this and I disagree with some of this on the people.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a couple of examples of people who I pretty sure are some we know for sure are billionaires, some aren't, that are content creators. Kanye West, billionaire, content creator.
Right.
Different type of content.
Sure.
Music.
More
right?
traditional, yeah.
Kardashians. I don't know how many of them are billionaires at this point, but they're
at least 2.
Yeah. There's keeps being reports, and they're like Pomp brothers, right? Like they just keep like more of them keep showing up. Then somebody that everyone always forgets about is Howard Stern.
Right.
He reportedly gets paid almost $100 million a year. And he's been doing it now for 15, 20 years, right? Like the guy's got to have over $1 billion, right? Unless literally he pissed it all away doing like ridiculous things. He's got to have $1 billion. So those are like 3 that I think are pretty simple.
So the only caveat, so totally agree. The only caveat I would say is, in my lens that I'm thinking through, is digital native. So somebody who's essentially born and built their following.
So those all get disqualified because they're more traditional.
So like Kanye, he's got like he had like a label, and like, this is like he is a content creator, but I think when most people think content creator, they don't think professional musician. I think they think more like YouTuber or TikToker or whatever.
So next is Rogan. I don't think he ever becomes a billionaire because I think he's missing the one thing that you mentioned, which is the ambition to be a
desire,
right? And
he's smart and wise enough to realize it doesn't matter. He's got enough.
Exactly. And I think that the Spotify deal, whether it'll ever be said publicly or not, was kind of a cash out. And I'm 50 plus years old. I think he's 53, 54 years old.
Right.
I want to spend time with my family. I'm going to move to Austin.
Right.
I'm out of the like rat race.
Right.
Yeah, sure. You want to give me $100 million? Like, fools, right? Like, give me $100 million. By the way, I'll keep producing the content. Like I enjoy meeting and talking to my friends, whatever. It's cool. But I definitely think like that was a signal of the level of ambition.
Right.
And that might make him the smartest one out of everybody. Like the ability to say, I don't need to go try to be a billionaire. Right. And then Mr. Beast, I actually think he will be a billionaire. You think he can do it? I think he has the ambition to do it. But I think that what drives him is very different, right? It's kind of like a Sam Bankman-Fried. I don't know how much you know about him from FTX, but like Jimmy doesn't want to be a billionaire because he thinks it's going to be cool to be a billionaire.
Right. He's not looking for a yacht.
He wants to just give it all away, right? He wants to help people. Like he genuinely enjoys doing that. And so like the passion comes through, and like there's a financial goal because that will help empower the passion. Right. And so I think that like that's like a very unique driver of I want to acquire a lot of financial assets and then like go along and give it away. I don't know how much money he's giving away, but like it's got to be tens of millions of dollars at this point.
Right.
Like pretty incredible for a kid who's like 25.
Right.
like that's not a thing that 25-year-olds think about.
Most people talk about how much they've made. Yeah. He's like, I've given away more than you've ever made.
Yeah. It's like
all right.
It's very, very, very unique. Now, when you bring it to kind of like people that we don't yet know of, I actually think most of the billionaires, it sounds like you're saying this, is like you built the audience and then you build a company.
Yes.
And so, yes, you are a content creator, but like really you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And I think it brings this whole conversation full circle of like all this is just they're entrepreneurs, right?